Welcome to Countdown to Infinity, an Avengers podcast. We're so excited. This is the spoiler-free...
Are you sick?
I'm sick.
I knew it. Okay, I just wanted to get it out of the way.
If you think,
Because everyone's going to be like, I wonder what's wrong with Emmanuel.
if my voice is a little bit different, it's because
He's going through puberty.
I'm finally going to get my balls today. Oh, Minnie. So this is our spoiler-free reactions to Avengers Endgame, a movie that has just come out at the crack... Well...
At the ass crack of 7.
Yeah,
or 6
so
is,
if you haven't seen it, you can listen to get hyped up for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have seen it, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yes.
But we
Yeah.
are going to be as cryptic as possible, and we'll bleep out anything that spoils too much. We
Yes.
will have a full spoiler-filled episode. It might be 10 hours long at this point.
It's like a recap episode.
Yeah,
sure.
The really long spoiler-full episode will come out on Monday, so make sure to subscribe to this pod and keep an ear out for Monday. Keep a lookout. Keep an ear out. Keep a smell out. You'll smell it
Monday?
on Monday. It's going to come out on Monday.
Fuck.
But we also are going to have a couple listener mail episodes. So if you want to leave us your favorite moments, maybe your thoughts on the movie you just watched, Endgame, you can email us a soundbite at info@delphinpod.com or leave a message on our answering machine. 512-937-3763, 512-937-DPOD.
Yeah.
You can leave a message there, and then we'll play them. And yeah, guys, we have unlimited minutes on that, so
Oh.
call anytime.
But that doesn't mean, like, tell us your life story, though. Damn.
Yeah.
You know what you've invited?
Sorry.
They would be like, so, how much time do you have? Oh, infinite minutes? Oh, word?
Well, I mean, also, if you mess up, too, just hang up, and then you're probably going to have to call back, because it's an old school answering machine.
we're
So
not
if
gonna
you
call
fuck
you
up
out.
in the message,
We'll know.
I mean,
We won't play that one.
yeah.
Well, let's get started. My name is Emmanuel.
I'm Andrew.
Hey, I'm John.
I'm Sophia.
And we've all seen the Endgame, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
we
It's literally
have.
like the night of, like the wee morning hours
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Yeah, I know. So that's why we all sound different. There's a different vibe in the room.
I have to be at work in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh, shit.
like you're a different person before Endgame.
Oh, 100%.
And you're a different person after
Yeah.
because of everything that's crazy that happens in that film.
You lost half of you, and then you gained kind of, sort of, half also, I guess, back. I don't know.
Yeah. What do you mean?
What? I'm saying, like, in Infinity War, you lost half.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then, damn.
Yeah. I just don't know if I've
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched a separate
kidding.
film.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get started. So again, this is gonna be a spoiler free.
So if you haven't seen it, you can still listen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And hopefully it just gets you hyped up, and I mean you're gonna get to see. I mean you'll hear like the tone in our voice, so you'll be like, "Ooh, he
What
didn't
does that
spoil it, but he
mean?"
didn't like it. I
Yeah.
know it."
Yeah, just the tone. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
My voice squeaked.
I know, it's for real. He actually is. He's really. Yeah. We thought he was
told
sick,
you.
but no, it actually really is puberty.
I'm
No, I'm very
emotional.
excited. I'm very excited
I'm
about it.
so emotional.
Such an emotional wreck.
So I guess I can get started. I really
I mean, I
like.
guess you can.
I mean,
John, okay, go ahead. I'm just kidding.
I'm going through the most changes. My body's changing
After
more.
this movie, it was
Yeah.
weird.
So I really enjoyed this film. I think it's crazy to think that this is the culmination of the past 10 years of Marvel, 11 years of Marvel Cinematic
It was 10
Universe.
years in Infinity War. Man, they messed
Sorry.
up. They should have done Infinity War year
On the
9.
10?
Yeah.
But
That feels weird.
This movie definitely feels like the finale, and I know that you may hear that a lot. But
Wait, did you just spoil it? You said it was the ending? Word?
well, it feels like a finale, and I think that it goes beyond just resolving Infinity War, and it goes into resolving a lot of what these characters have been going through across their span of movies. And I gotta say, I talked
getting
about.
choked up
I
about
know.
Your voice is getting deeper. What I thought about Infinity War was that.
I'm growing 10 inches as we speak. But I was talking about this earlier in our earlier episodes with how the Russo brothers find some of the most complicated plots and decide to, choose some of the tougher storylines, and they just go for it. And I think it definitely works out in this movie. But yeah, those are my initial reactions. And as a growing boy, I related so much to the young people in the film. I just saw myself. I'm just kidding. John, what did you think of the film?
I thought the movie. I'm still kind
I'll
of.
go now. I'm just kidding.
I'm still kind of digesting. The movie is a whole lot to take in.
You know how crazy that is? Because John has seen it twice.
Yes.
And now
he
he's
has.
still digesting after
It's-
6 hours
It's
of
a
movie.
lot of stuff. It's
Yeah,
a lot of
true.
stuff to to take in. That being said, it was a very fun movie. I enjoyed it even more so the second time than I did the first. I do love, obviously no spoilers here, but I do love the way, this is kind of like an ending. Like I do love the way it brings things to a close.
Mm-hmm.
I do every emotional moment that happens in the movie kind of hits the mark. The action that's in the movie as well is very satisfying and a little bit kind of teeter. This is probably the most fan service I've ever seen in a movie. I know that sounds like a bad thing, but it's really not. It's actually really, really exciting to see it.
It's stuff you may not have thought you would ever see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's stuff that stuff that you may not have thought you've ever seen. Although me and Andrew could probably kind of maybe debate on that, like stuff that you probably stuff that you may know that's coming. Like if you know, I guess the storyline, or if you know these characters really. But that being said, seeing it on screen is it's like a shot of joy right at you. It's amazing. It's like
Why'd you have to say a shot?
you can't
That's
you
the
can't
only
help-
thing he knows.
Just dissect everything.
That's how he gets
damn it.
joy.
It's either one an alcoholic way or the other money shot way.
It's like-
either way, both bad. I'm just kidding.
Or it's like a shot between your toes of joy.
Oh, Jesus.
Between your
holy shit.
That sounds like crazy.
Oh my god.
That one was worse than both of them.
Sorry.
Nice. It was good though.
Yeah.
No,
A lot
made
of
me
our
cringe.
listeners do heroin.
Oh
A lot
my
of our
god.
listeners do black tar heroin.
I hope not.
This is a shout out to you.
But if you do, we're not judging you.
Okay,
Please keep
please.
downloading.
You probably like Endgame more than us.
Awful.
Yeah, so all of that, I forgot what my
Fair
thought
enough.
was before that, but I did enjoyed the movie very much. It is awesome. It feels kind of weird because I do want to see what happens next, but this does feel like you should pump the brakes after this movie because you kind of don't know what's going to top this.
Yeah.
We
We were talking earlier. If the MCU ended here,
it would actually make sense, sort of. Yeah, without
and that's why I'm not watching any more movies from the MCU.
I mean, we can talk about this on the actual spoiler-filled episode, but it almost feels like, if there was a superhero bubble to break, it should break after this, or pop after this. But back to the initial reactions of Endgame, it was a great movie. I loved it. It's probably my second favorite Avengers film now, behind the first one. And so it's going to be, I think it'll age very well. I'm not sure about the rewatchability part. Because Endgame kind of, but again, I thought that was going to happen for Endgame, which was, not the case because I've rewatched Endgame. Infinity War, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, you rewatched it twice.
Yeah, see, I'm still getting
bought
used
two
to the
tickets.
fucking names of this stuff. Infinity War is insanely rewatchable, and I think, I think Endgame will follow, possibly. So I would hope so.
Sophia, the mascara is running down your eyes.
It was.
You're collecting them into these tiny little shot glasses for
Yes.
John because we know he likes shots.
Of gross mascara.
Yeah. Drink it, John. Drink it. Drink it.
So for me, I mean, it's okay. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. No,
Ooh.
no, I
Damn.
loved it. Of course, I loved it. It did not feel like it was 3 hours long. I was entertained the entire time. I loved it, from beginning, the very beginning to the very end. It was just an amazing movie. And I mean, it's every little bit of it felt like it was, like a closure to almost everything. It was perfectly just wrapped up a lot of the storylines and a lot of the characters that we love. And yeah, I mean, there's everything else that you guys were saying is 100% accurate. It's it's just so much. I can't.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
It really is.
For sure.
I for sure cried, but I'm an emotional mess. So yeah.
A hot man.
Just like
I am.
me.
A hot man.
Two kids going through puberty.
I teared
Yeah,
up
that's
at a sequence or two in this, so
Yeah.
definitely it was pretty
It
out there.
definitely tugged at your heartstrings more than any of the other Avengers movies ever. I think, or
very-
almost MCU movies ever, I think.
Yeah,
It's very purposeful though.
Exactly.
In those scenes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's
Yeah.
supposed to tug at your heartstrings. It's not. I mean, and there's some action, of course, and there's like, you know, all the characters like they have like their funny moments too. But it's definitely more on the emotional side.
You're reminded that a lot of these characters are humans, and even when they're from other planets, they're all based on you know, kind of human emotions,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
very natural things.
It's really weird to say that because this is obviously the biggest movie that Marvel's done, and for it to
Yeah.
be its most emotional, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of fascinating.
I guess that's everyone.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
No, Andrew.
I think I'm stewing over it a little bit more than John is since he's seen it a second time. But I think it was very different than what it's marketed as. I think
Oh.
it's one of those things where, like, I think
Ah.
you have a preconceived notion into what what you've seen and what you've pieced together. But I think a lot of different people predicted a whole ton of the aspects. Even if you go back and listen to our first 2 seasons,
Oh, yeah.
you can hear us talk about these moments that happened in the movie, and whether that's, you know, we were talking about like, oh, is this gonna happen in Endgame or whatever. I mean, sometimes we said like, oh, Cap might do this in the future, and then it happened in this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was as big of a surprise for me, because a lot of these moments, whether again taken from the specific material, which is Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War, the book or whatever, they take from a lot of the other comics from all these characters and stuff like that. So, but it was still really cool. I think it's very different again than what you're expecting, because it kind of grounds it like in our world. Like everybody, like it suddenly focuses on the characters and not a superhero, where like a superhero can do anything.
Yeah.
And here they are with kind of dealing with, again, like it's their closure. Like they have to kind of pull the heartstrings or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
kind of you know, wrap up all their stories and all that.
That's what I really liked about the way that we did our second season, is we went character by character, and we started with the original Avengers, but we talked about just how they have evolved as characters
Yeah.
across all these movies that they're in, including the other
Yeah.
Avengers films.
Yeah.
And this is such a natural
Progression.
in
Yeah.
all of the things we've talked about, whether, you know, and this isn't a spoiler, but when, I'm just kidding, no, but when
Stanley comes down
I
and
know.
claps up Thanos himself.
well, whether or not there's more story to them or there's not, it's just the way that they have kind of.
I know what you mean. It's really hard to put into words, because like
Yeah.
it feels so different to me also. Cause
I'm trying to think of a way not to spoil it.
Yeah. I know.
Well, and
I saw you, like you were talking, and then you're just like, and
yeah,
then,
I can't say that. I can't say that. Yeah.
we think of these things again like as like gods or like heroes, but for them to get so human with their characters is like so
Yeah.
weird, because we're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to seeing them as like a force of nature almost, or like somebody that can literally, you know, turn the tide of anything. And so to see them get so like kind of strip it down and like this is who they are as people, that's
Yeah.
what's crazy about the movie for me, because again, I've seen them in one light the entire time, which
Yeah.
is this thing like bigger, larger than life that could never ever happen. And so it was really cool in a sense. I think I think I have a little bit more like I wouldn't say negative stuff, but I think I see a little
Critiques.
bit. Yeah, exactly. And I can see myself getting crucified for it when it comes when like, you know, the spoiler free.
Yeah, when the Monday episode comes out.
everyone's like, oh, whatever. This movie deserves all the Oscars in the
Yeah,
world.
But
yeah.
you know what? It's close to Easter though, so if you get crucified, Andrew,
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
Yeah.
3 days from now you'll be
Yeah.
back and better
better
than
than
ever.
ever. baby.
Jesus, the original sequel.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, we should have asked him about unsnapping people. Am I right? He came back.
Yeah, for real.
Dang. And he's gonna come back again.
I
soon.
literally almost dropped another spoiler just like right now. Just like,
Oh wait, sorry.
comparing
Some
to
of you
that.
guys don't know what happened to Jesus. I'm sorry we spoiled.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
He came back.
He came back.
Yeah.
This has really gotten very religious.
Oh my god.
Turn or burn. I'm just
God.
kidding. I mean, I don't know. But don't get us wrong. I think we're talking about how human it is, but this is very far from like an indie movie.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's plenty of insane signature Marvel heists, like hijinks, and you know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything like it in the MCU for sure, but I don't think it's the best MCU movie though.
Interesting.
Agreed.
This film, like, I'll ask you, if with it being combined with Infinity War, would you say if you
Jesus.
put them together as one big 6-hour movie,
Yeah.
would
half
it
a
work
day.
better for you? Because that's partially one of the things was
I
they
think-
made them different
So,
films.
I think since this one, that's what I kept saying is like
I think you
this
brought
one
this up
can't-
last year too, like where
Yeah.
you said like you hated. It's not that you hated, but I think you had the exact same reaction.
Yeah.
You had to Endgame that you had to Infinity War because you came out of Infinity War saying like, I don't dig this. It's a part one. Like
Yeah.
that's what you said on the last
And it's
episode.
the same
too.
thing with this one where I'm like, I don't dig this. Like
It's a
it can't
part
stand
2.
on its own. Yeah,
right. I don't think this is a part
Because
two.
like, could you imagine a critic going into this
Not
movie
knowing.
and and like
Never seeing
and
any-
he's like, man,
yeah.
the process would be daunting. You got to go back and watch these 22 movies before you can even try to critique this. Because if not, you're gonna think it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And that's a valid point because there's a whole line of
It doesn't have its own plot.
criticism, which is, every film has to stand on its very
Yeah.
own,
Well,
to be complete
have-
on its very own.
Like I told John, I said, have you ever been like super hungry, and then you just get like dessert, and then that's it. Like you're like, man, like I want something with like sustenance or like
Yeah.
substance that like will like fill me up. Like where's the meat and potatoes?
Controversial take.
And then
Meat, potatoes, and dessert.
but I understand that this movie.
The potatoes are the dessert.
yeah, sweet potato.
Yeah, ooh.
But
Yams.
but I understand what they were charged with because like it's fucking tough to try to put 11 years of history, cinematic
Yeah.
history into one movie.
Yeah.
And they did it successfully. Where again, like if it was anybody else, it would have sucked.
Most
Yeah.
TV
can't do
season,
it.
most TV series finales don't
Can't do it.
Don't
Yeah,
do
Yeah.
that.
Game
yeah.
of Thrones is doing that over how many hours? And they had the process. They were charged with the process of doing this in 3 hours. That's why I either wanted it to be longer or shorter because like there was stuff that I think that you could have cut out because we've seen these other 2 movies. Like we had 22 movies. We've had to watch them to keep up with this one. So there's no need to try to go back and
What? And can you imagine? And in Infinity War, what?
I thought that was about to be a spoiler.
Oh
Like
no,
that
no.
dropped.
Because
My bad.
He stopped.
Can you imagine in Infinity War? One of the biggest parts was the ending of that film, and realizing that a ton of the heroes that you came to the movies to see are gone.
Yeah.
And you knew that going into this film,
Right.
And so at some point, I think you have these kind of beliefs and people coming back, or how much bigger and how crazier can this movie be. But I will say it definitely. I think it pays off really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it
Yes.
shouldn't have been as good as it was. It should have been a bad movie, really, because again, it's tough. It's super like there's no one else that could have done it. Maybe Joss Whedon, maybe, but that's it.
And I think,
Yeah.
the Russo brothers have definitely done a great job tackling something really, really insane.
Yeah.
And that's just their MO now. Their modus operandi
Yeah.
is to get something really difficult. So what should they tackle next? Let's see.
It obviously has to be
Health care.
Yeah, they should run for office.
that has to do with a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it has
And a lot of people,
Yeah.
half of people die.
Exactly. Oh,
As
shit.
well.
Half of all people always die.
That note,
It's called living. LIVIN.
well, guys, so that's pretty much our spoiler-free review. I'm going to listen to this again, but I don't think we spoiled a single thing.
I don't think so.
It's probably frustrating for
we
you
did,
guys.
Yeah, we did so good.
Yeah.
It kind of is a little bit.
It really
I-
doesn't explain anything.
But you know what, though? If you have seen the movie, you'll still get something out of this.
Well, yeah, and they're
Yeah.
genuine thoughts, and again, like we literally all just came out of showings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like within the 24 hours, I think
yeah.
for sure.
Uh-huh.
And you guys have seen it like 14 times already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before it released,
Yeah,
baby.
whatever.
You're welcome.
Whatever. So Monday, subscribe and listen for Monday when the big
Yes.
long. I have no idea how long it's going to be, but we are going to watch it again. and-
Only half
That's
of us are
usually
going
how
to
it
return.
goes.
No, I was kidding.
I know. I know.
I
And
was
make
like, only
sure
half of us are going to return.
we're going to take turns. We're going to take hour naps, and the next guy comes in, and says once the rest of their sentence.
We're going to come in with only our upper bodies. Half of us is going to be gone.
But we also want to hear from you guys. So don't forget to email us your soundbites at info@delphinpod.com or leave a message 512-937-3763. Standard rates apply. I don't know if that means
Messaging
anything.
rates.
But yeah, but that's text
No,
messaging, right?
that's
Yeah.
text messaging.
I see it on TV whenever I have to
that's just
vote for
text
American
messaging.
Idol.
Because I think if you call in
For
you have to have
American
minutes.
Idol?
It's funny that I
You
said.
call American Idol all the time?
Oh yeah, it's funny that I said
All those fucking charges?
when I have to vote for American Idol, like it's a duty that I have. Like it's up to
It's your
me.
civil
You're required by
duty.
law.
It's up to me to vote.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you guys want to say to the people who haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Go see it.
When Deadpool comes out, it's fucking crazy.
Oh God, that doesn't happen.
When he comes out and unsnaps and unclaps his
Okay.
infinity cheeks.
All right.
Obviously, this is a very very popular IP that's going around, just like you know Game of Thrones and stuff. If you have seen it and you know people who haven't, don't spoil
Just spoil
it.
the fuck out of it in front of them.
No,
Just kidding.
don't
Just
spoil
tell
it.
them that
No.
Han Solo dies,
no,
baby.
No.
This movie, if you don't know it, I mean, if you don't know anything about this movie, like I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of Marvel, not if you don't know like anything about this shit.
If you don't know what a movie is,
yeah,
this is the first one you should see.
this movie is best enjoyed when you're going in like completely blind. Obviously not like actual. God damn it, Delphin. I see your face. Like, just like
God, they didn't hear our face. They weren't gonna know that we made a
Oh,
face until
God.
Andrew
you
was this
said it.
close to saying something. I
Oh,
said
was it?
you.
I'm gonna give you
I
a
like how
shovel.
you
gave him the fucking
Emmanuel,
thing?
your face, and then Andrew before you said those words.
We're not the ones. That
You know
said
how I
it,
know?
guys.
Because
It was all
Andrew
you.
has the mischievous smile. Like every time he's about to say something, he just like, I can't do it right now. Obviously, this isn't
Oh
all
my
good.
God,
You're
that
just
was
digging
my
a deeper hole,
favorite.
John.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
you're just
um,
making it seem more and more like it was just you.
Ooh, we're spending a lot of time on your mistake, John.
I'm just saying, go into this movie, with as no knowledge as possible. You're gonna have a whole lot more fun because of it.
It's true. And that's a really important message because there are going
Yeah.
to be people who aren't going to be able to see it this week.
Yeah.
And so
They'll-
I
they'll
stayed,
have to
I
wait
stayed off
until
of my
Blu-ray.
phone. I stayed off my phone all day today, like
That's-
Twitter
yeah.
and well, I mean, I texted and stuff, but like no, I was not on Twitter. Or
Some
Facebook
people,
or
yeah.
anything.
Some people aren't gonna get to
Yeah.
see it until it's on HBO.
and some of it is major too. Like some of it is
there's a
light
lot.
major.
There's a lot of major.
Yeah.
That's why I was so scared to talk today about like non-spoilers because I was like, damn, this is gonna
can't do
be.
Yeah.
Just wait until Far From Home, and then watch it.
Yeah. Oh, and is it it's not a spoiler to say that the after
What?
credits scene is
Oh yeah, no,
like not there.
non-existent.
So
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert!
it's really not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler.
Yeah.
I know you guys are googling it when you're sitting there being like,
Yeah.
can I get
Do
get
I- is
out?
there
or
one?
what?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get there you
No.
go. That's one thing you can take away from this is don't stay after the credits. Go pee. It's been 3 hours and a half for the
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
it's
trailers.
not-
Walk
I
around.
did
Walk
pee
around.
hard.
Yeah.
You were talking about having a 2-pound deuce. I produced like 4 pounds.
Who are you pointing
He's
at?
pointing at John.
John, listen,
Just so you guys know.
John, you FaceTimed me while I was pooping, and you were like, "Give me that weight on that, honey."
That was totally Drew who said that last
Oh, really?
episode too.
No.
Yeah.
No, wait.
It was John.
Drew,
Oh.
no, real quick.
If you like this,
That's great.
If you like this podcast and you can't wait this is a really big weekend because Game of Thrones is also
The Battle of Winterfell at
I
am
Winterfell.
so
For
upset.
Winterfell? I don't know.
Winter Fallen.
This is just an upsetting year. We got Avengers, we got Game of Thrones, and we have Star Wars.
And she hates all of that. That's why she's upset.
I hate it all.
Yeah.
She fucking hates us.
All of it's ending.
Yeah, and so sorry. Countdown to Spring. I was like, why did I talk about Game of Thrones?
Oh yeah.
Countdown to Spring is our Game of Thrones podcast. There's a lot of resolution there, a lot of characters. So, Countdown to Spring that'll come out on Monday as well. Spoilerful,
Yeah.
but definitely subscribe to this pod. Review it if you really like it. If you don't like it, please don't review it.
Yeah.
Please don't. But
Stay
yeah,
away.
And stop listening then.
Yeah.
You don't like it. I like to be punished, so I just listen to shit I don't like.
Andrew likes to be punished.
Yeah.
You hear that, ladies?
Yeah, I suggest not reading. Like, try not to read any Marvel comic books before you go. Like, stop reading Marvel comics now. Like, if you're an active reader, so that way you just get surprised. Because, like, I found that like because I read a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
You
fuck.
already-
Well, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
That was
Shit.
I was looking at you shocked because I was like, don't you work at a comic book shop?
Yeah,
yeah.
you already know.
Yeah,
what's
so-
going
Bro, for
That's
me, I
why-
was like, you shouldn't be saying
A
that.
lot of the cool moments. It was like Spider-Verse when everyone was like, "So you didn't like that?" Well, I was like, "Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen Spider-Verse, just cover your ears for the next 20 seconds." When like the Prowler, where I was like, I know, like in the books, he's his
Yeah,
fucking uncle. So
he's
like when he does
yeah.
the Luke, I am your father thing in Spider-Verse, everyone's like, it was his uncle. And I was like, I fucking knew that from the beginning. Like I thought it was gonna be a surprise. Same thing with this. So just stop reading Marvel comics for now, and then watch this, and then reread them. Keep reading them after that.
So just a
Because
break.
I can imagine someone like binging everything, like
Yeah.
everything we can. We're gonna read as much comic books. We're gonna read we're gonna see all the movies. We're gonna listen to all the podcasts.
Hey, don't stop.
Well, no, I'm saying, but yeah,
Wait.
Yeah.
Listen to all the
just
podcasts.
stop. No, just kidding. Just turn this off right now. It's over.
What's up with podcasts?
it's like-
no one even likes them.
It's like Ferris Bueller. You're still here. It's over.
Bye.